Welcome back, PEZ collectors. Today's video is going to be all about Smurfs PEZ because this is going to be the ultimate Smurfs PEZ collecting guide video that you're going to be able to find on the internet. Guaranteed. There's a lot of Smurfs PEZ, so let's get started. For organization of this video and to help you use this video later on, there are always timestamps down below in the description. So use those timestamps to skip through the video when needed. Also, I'm going to show all the loose PEZ first, and then I'm going to go and show all the carded variations at the end. I think I'm just going to cruise through the cards. If you want to collect them on cards, then you'll be able to see them and see what's available. I do not have all the package variations for Smurfs, but I have a lot. And since there are many variations for the heads and the stems for Smurfs, instead of saying, something like, it's a 3.9 made in Austria stem, I'm just going to skip that and you'll read it on the screen when you see that Smurf. So I think that's going to make the video go a lot faster because there's a lot of Smurfs I'm going to share with you today. We're going to start off this Smurfs video with the Smurf PEZ Dispensers. Now these were first released back in 1986. There's quite a few variations of these. So this one has the white hat, the blue face, and a white stem. And you can see that the white stem on this is kind of yellowed because it's either been exposed to UV rays or someone smoked, or sometimes the white on these PEZ, they just kind of discolor over time. And when I'm sharing these Smurf PEZ dispensers, I want you to be aware of the eyes, the pupil parts of them, the little black circle, and then if they have a little tongue painted on them or not on the mouth area. Those are two different distinct variations that you're going to find for the heads. So this one's on the white stem. Also have that same Smurf head on a red stem, no feet. And I don't have it loose, but I have that same Smurf head on a blue stem. This one is in the blue poly bag. There's also this Smurf PEZ, and you can see that there's no tongue. It's on a red no foot stem. And I will say, just from collecting these Smurf PEZ, that I cannot find any of these heads with the no tongue on a white or a blue stem. I can only find it on this red stem. So if you have any of these Smurf A's with no tongue on a blue or white stem, send me a picture. I'd like to see those. Also, real quick, I do have this one here with the tongue on white stem in a poly bag, a Smurf A on a blue stem in the poly bag, a red poly bag that time. And this red stem Smurf has the tongue printed on it. You can see the different colors of the poly bags these might appear in, blue, red, or green, in case you like to, fill these up in a counter box or just have all the color variations. There you go. These should be the only colored poly bags that you find these Smurfs in. And I do have some of these Smurf A's with no feet on cards, which I'll show at the end with all the cards I have. You're not going to want to miss out on that card section. They were moving up. At least by 1986, PEZ started putting the thin feet on the bottom of the PEZ dispensers. So here's the same Smurf head, but this one has thin feet. And then here is an even newer one because you can see here that this one has thick feet. It just looks a lot newer. I mean, this one is in nicer condition than this one. But here is a side-by-side comparison of the one I just showed you. And it does have smaller pupils versus this newer one. It has larger pupils. And you can tell it's a newer PEZ International stem because there's no country of origin on the bottom of the stem. But also, check out the back of their heads, like little part where you push open the head with your thumb. They look different. You can see that they kept the same idea for the Smurf, as time went along. They just modified the back of the head a little bit, I think to make it easier to open. But it looks really similar to the thin foot Smurf and the no foot Smurf. Here's another Smurf A PEZ that I have. This one is also on thick feet, but as you can see, it even looks different. Because look at the blue color variation on it. I want to show you, I have a whole bunch of these Smurfs that are discolored. Later on I'm going to share with you in the videos. I would say don't fall for strange blue Smurfs. I probably wouldn't collect Smurfs for color variations like the blue part. Because I think the blue plastic ages really bad just like the white. But this one is really cool because it has like that seafoam blue sleeve on the inside there, which is really nice. You can also see in the back there how it's blue. So it's a fun variation because at the time of making this, probably, the early 90s, that's when PEZ started using some of these sleeves that are kind of that light blue color. I have some Muppets PEZ with that, and I also have some Panda PEZ with these same sleeves. So if you like to collect variations like that. These are fun to look for and, you know, pretty inexpensive and just fun to hunt for, especially like if you go to a PEZ convention. There's also this Smurf PEZ. This one has thin feet. You can see that his tongue is painted on there too. There's another Smurf PEZ, thin feet, and there's no tongue painted on this, but this one is also on a blue stem. But the blue, I mean, like, you'll see weird variations like these two. I mean, look at how different the blues are on the head and the stem. And here's another Smurf PEZ. This one has thick feet, but no tongue painted on it. So this is a newer stem. There's no Made in Country there at the bottom. And here's one with no tongue on a red stem. And here's another one on a red stem with thin feet, but this one has the little tongue painted on it. Technically, like, if I was writing the PEZ guide for like collecting PEZ, if my name was on that book, I would probably make these Smurf A's and then all these Smurf B's, because the heads are a little different. And every time I think PEZ makes a mold, I think we should add a letter to it. So there's lots of different variations you can collect. See how after they're all lined up, this is what I was waiting for, to show you like the color variations of the heads and the blues of the stems. It's crazy. Like, you find a lot of these ivory colored ones, and I think these are just either sun faded or smoke faded or just time faded, or someone stored them in too hot of conditions, and the white plastic just does not age right because they should be pretty white. Because I have these in the bags. I mean, look how white the hat is. This one does have a little bit yellowed stem. I know I bought these Smurfs from different people, so the hat on that, I mean, that thing is crispy white and it's still in the poly bag. But I think the fact that this one is super white is because it is on the thick feet, so it's a lot newer than these older ones. And these are all the Smurf PEZ that I have in my collection, but there is one that I cannot find because I want to buy it on card. I don't want just a loose one, which I can find a loose one for sale. Usually on eBay there's one, but I want one on card because I think that makes it more specific that it's actually real and not just someone popping a Papa Smurf hat onto one of these Smurfs, because the Smurf I'm talking about is a red stem and then it has a red hat. I think it should have thick feet, but I never find one on card. I never see it come up for sale. I've looked on eBay, I've looked and asked around online. So if you ever see one for sale on card, let me know. I'd love to add one to my collection, but I think it'd be fun to have one loose just so I could put it on the shelf. But to have an official one, I want one on card. You're gonna see a lot of different variations in these Smurf PEZ because they made them from, you know, 1980 up until probably the mid 90s. It's harder to remember or figure out when PEZ were stopped made than like when they were first released. So that's why I always kind of estimate like the ending time based on like when the next series comes out of Smurf PEZ, which we're gonna get to really soon here. I like these Smurf PEZ because they show a lot of transition between like no foot, thin foot, thick foot, and then like where they made them, the patent numbers on them and everything. So they're gonna vary a lot. So you are gonna get different, you know, stem color variations. You're gonna get different head color variations because they're not all made at the same factory at the same time. They're made throughout many, many years of PEZ. So you will find a lot of different variations on these just because they made them for, you know, long periods of time in different factories. Next up, about 1989, we got a Smurfette PEZ Dispenser to add to the Smurf series. And these are really fun to collect if you like to collect small variations, because there's a few of these that I had a lot of fun looking for. It took me a while to find some of these. This first one here has molded eyelashes, molded eyes, and a molded tongue. And of course they all have molded mouths. So when I say molded, that means that the plastic indents where they should be, they could be painted, they could be not painted. And these are hand painted eyes at this time. So whenever you find like these older thin foot PEZ, I would say pretty likely they're gonna be hand painted, because that's how PEZ used to paint these thin foot PEZ and no foot PEZ. They painted them all by hand, which this one was pretty hard to find. I have another Smurfette PEZ here, but this one, she doesn't have molded eyelashes, so it's just smooth like above her eyes. She does have that hand painted molded eyes, and she has a molded tongue as well. I have another one of her, and I just keep this one here because I think the coloring on this one looks a lot better than this one, but I like to have the different like side-by-side example of a more teal Smurfette versus a more blue one. And then there's also this Smurfette PEZ, and she has painted eyelashes and a painted tongue and painted eyes, but her eyelashes are not molded. They're just painted on the face, but the eyes are molded and the mouth is molded. And then we move on up. This is a newer Smurfette PEZ because it does have the thick feet there, but you can tell this one, like the eyes look different. So these are called decal eyes. They're printed by a machine and the eyes are not molded, but the eyelashes are painted on. They're not molded, and it does have a molded mouth but no tongue. And I have this Smurfette PEZ, the same head as the last one I just showed you, but the mouth is not painted and she's on this bright yellow stem, which is a fun variation. But here's all the Smurfette PEZ side by side so you can see the different molds of the eyelashes, the tongue, the mouth, the eyes, and hopefully seeing these all side by side is going to help you, figure out what ones you have and what ones you still need to add to the collection. These took the longest to find, I think, collecting all these Smurf PEZ. And I think I got all the Smurfette PEZ variations. If you do have any in your collections that I do not have, let me know because I'm kind of nerding out about all these variations. I want to have them all, if I can. Also in 1989, we got a Papa Smurf PEZ. There you go, there's the red Smurf hat I was talking about that could come on one of these Smurf PEZ. Don't fall for it. This Papa Smurf though has the red hat, same blue face. He's got the really cool textured beard, comes on a red stem, but this, you can see that this Papa Smurf I have has thick feet because, like I said, thin feet should have been made, back in like 1986 or so. So, by 1989, thick feet were a thing. So Papa Smurf should only come on thick feet. Talk about crazy variations on these Smurf PEZ. I do have this Papa Smurf PEZ on this card, and you can see Papa Smurf has a white hat. It's on a blue stem. He should have the same face as this one on the red stem, and I only bought this because it's on card. I'm not going to buy one of these off card. It would be kind of fun to have one, I think, to put on the shelf. I wanted to for sure find one of these on card, and this was super hard to find. I kind of got lucky finding this on eBay. It does have leaky candy there, that's why it kind of looks gross. But I say, if you're gonna buy one of these, only buy it on card. Don't spend a lot of money on loose ones, because it's really easy to take one of these Smurf hats and pop it on a Papa Smurf and make this loose. I think the value in these is gonna be having one on card. I was searching online for these with the white hat, and I did come across this website, Blue Buddies, and they only collect Smurf collectibles, and they have these other 2 card variations for this Papa Smurf, which I thought was kind of fun, so I thought I'd share these with you. One has a droopy dog sticker, and the other one has a Tom from Tom and Jerry sticker, but they're all on these striped cards. Okay, moving up to 1997, we got some more Smurf PEZ. Now this is also just a Smurf, so this is probably a Smurf PEZ dispenser. This one has the white hat, the blue face, and the neon yellow stem. And there are going to be some more Smurf PEZ, but I didn't want to just categorize all the Smurfs at once because these go with the series. So I wanted to show you the whole series of these at once so you can see, how you could buy these and how you probably should display them on your shelf with the other series that these come with. I'd probably display all these PEZ here on a shelf next to each other, and then I would start putting the PEZ in their different series by year. You'll see. As I lay them out, that's how I would display them on my shelf if I was displaying them. In case you are wondering. In that same series from 1997, we have a Smurfette PEZ. She has the bright neon pink stem. This one's really cute. I think this series, they get, these are pretty cute, but I think these are even cuter. I always have to include cute factor. There's a Papa Smurf. Look how different these look. And this Papa Smurf is on this bright neon red stem. And the first time we have a Brainy Smurf. And I want to point out how his glasses are just painted on there, or they're like a decal printed from a machine. They're not hand painted, but I want to point that out because there'll be a Brainy Smurf coming up here with even better glasses than this. And this Brainy Smurf is on this bright neon orange stem. And then there's a Gargamel, because you gotta have a villain in every great cartoon series. This Gargamel PEZ is just Gargamel's head for the head. He's on a black stem. I don't know why, that one always cracks me up. And then in 2017, PEZ made these, I call these Smurf C series because this is a Smurf C. This one is on a yellow stem. There's a Smurfette in this series as well. She's on a pink stem. Then there's a Brainy Smurf, and check out how those glasses are added on there. I think this one looks really great. And this Brainy Smurf is on a green stem. Then we also got a Papa Smurf in this series on a nice red stem. So there's no Gargamel in this series, you only have this four. I don't know why they X'd Gargamel off the PEZ series list, but they did. Also in 2017, we got the Smurfs Click and Play set, and my tin has this big sticker on it. I got this for like $5, I think, at a Michigan PEZ convention, and I just bought it because I was like, I need that for a video. Let me open it up here. But inside there, you'll see the Smurf PEZ. They're Click and Play PEZ. So let me show you how one works. The little top part, you just twist it, and it comes off, and then this little piece here, this little Smurf, becomes a game piece. So there's the Smurf, Brainy Smurf reading a book. There you go, Smurfette on a blue stem, and a Papa Smurf on a red stem. They're little sitting Smurfs. Inside here, you also find Sour Blue Raspberry Sours PEZ candy, and that's when they used to brand the Sours candy with the Z. In the tin here, there's a little spinner, so you can actually play the game. This game board, and you can play the Smurfs board game. It's pretty cool. I've never played it. I only just opened this recently, so maybe I need to get this out and have a game night. So these should be all the Smurf variations that you should be able to find, but I do have some other fun stuff to show you. Smurfs video's not over yet. I do have this bag of Smurfs that I kind of keep not with the good stuff, because inside here are a bunch of weirdly colored Smurfs that I think, you know, like these were not stored in the right conditions, like I said, so they're like teal. So if you run across these Smurf PEZ that are kind of teal like this, I would not suggest buying these. I have a whole bag. This one, the head didn't turn teal, but the stem is very yellowed. I keep all these stored in this bag off to the side because I don't want to mingle those into the collection, but I do have these other Smurfs. Check these out. I keep them up. You might have seen these in some of my videos. I have this counter box full of Smurf PEZ. On the back there it does say Smurfs. I think this is super cool because it has all the Smurfs in there. So we have Papa Smurf, there you go, Smurf PEZ, and a Smurfette. So this Smurfette is like this one here. So you can find cool Smurfs counter boxes like this. You know, they're not going to be too expensive right now. I would say if you want to collect some counter boxes from like the 90s, you know, like buy stuff like this, because I think this looks really cool on your shelf like this. And they're not too hard to find right now, they're not too expensive, but I think this is a really fun thing to collect. I don't know, I have a lot of counter boxes like this of the 90s era, because I think these look really cool. I mean, they're a lot easier to find than like vintage boxes like that. A lot cheaper. Also have these two Smurf PEZ with no feet on these cards. These both have the new PEZ dispenser sticker on them. And they have just the 2 candy packs. That's key to collecting PEZ on cards. 2 candy packs versus 3 candy packs. There you go. There's a thin-foot white Smurf. And this one has no tongue. Here's one on the red stem. Thin feet, no tongue. Also have a Smurfette and a Papa Smurf on those same cards. These cards are pretty fun to collect because they do have the different activities on the back as well. I also have them on card. So this is the newer Smurf B, but I also have a Smurf A on that same card, which I think is a really fun variation. So you'll find these out there. I guess they're like transitional pieces. Yeah, so these are still all from this one here in the front, the Smurf Bs. So we have Smurfette and Papa Smurf, a Brainy Smurf, and a Gargamel. On the back of the cards, it does show you the Smurfs in the series, but it doesn't show that you can find a Smurf A. Be careful of these candy packs. They do kind of get smushy. Mine are still really hard and nice. That's why you have to store your PEZ, especially if you want to collect candy packs in not high humidity. You don't want to put them out in the garage or down the basement or in your attic. You want to put them in your house in a room that you can work on the humidity and keep the temperature nice in there so they don't melt. I also have these 3 Smurf PEZ, and this is a fun time of PEZ packaging because they have the little candy packs on them there. So there's a Smurfette, a Smurf, and a Papa Smurf. And these are all from this Smurf series here in the back. But I don't have a Brainy Smurf in this package, or if I do, I've misplaced them, but these are the only ones I can find. And then for the Click and Play Smurfs PEZ, I have them on these really cool PEZ International cards. So there's a Smurf and a Smurfette. So these didn't only come in the tins, they came on cards as well. I think the tins were sold in the US and then these were sold from PEZ International overseas. Then there's a Brainy Smurf and a Papa Smurf. I think if you like to collect card variations, these are really fun ones to have in your collection. I think I showed you every Smurf PEZ in package variation that I have in my collection. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, especially since you made it this far. Let me know if this video was helpful. I'd love to hear from you. Comment down below. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye!
I write to you in poetry with words left on the shelf. Full of dust, you'll know it's me and from nobody else.